And when I'm reelected, every single Biden attack on gun owners and manufacturers will be terminated my very first week back in office, perhaps my first day. Did nearly 300 pro-Constitution judges to interpret the law as written. I faced down vile attacks from the radical left to confirm 3 great Supreme Court justices. They're great justices. And standing before you at the NRA Leadership Forum in 2019, I revoked America's signature from the globalist United Nations Arms Trade Treaty, where basically they take your guns. Like nobody's ever had them before. When the radical left Democrats tried to use COVID to shut down gun sales during the China virus pandemic, I proudly designated gun and ammunition dealers as critical infrastructure. Did you know I did that? Does anybody know I did that? Do you know the heat? Do you know the heat I took? My administration also petitioned the Supreme Court to overturn New York City's unconstitutional ban on transporting handguns outside of the home. And in a landmark case 2 years ago, the court affirmed that the right to self-defense does not end when you step outside the front door of your house. That was all things that we got together. But under crooked Joe Biden, your Second Amendment is again under siege. You know that. Biden has implemented a vicious zero-tolerance policy. Do you know what that is? It's not good. That revokes the license of independent firearms dealers if they make a single minor error, little tiny error, they're out of business. He imposed the so-called pistol brace rule, which orders law-abiding citizens to register or surrender guns with certain equipment. You know that. Many of you are forced to do it. I don't know. Is everybody doing it as per their demand? Who in this group has done it? There's a hand way back there. Biden is trying to ban all private gun transfers in the United States with the stroke of a pen. Let's ban them all. Under a Trump administration, all of those Biden disasters get ripped up and torn out. My first week, but maybe my first day in office, okay? Maybe my first. Incredible people. On day one, we will sack the radical gun grabber, Steve Dettelbach. Did you ever hear of Steve Dettelbach? Do you know who the hell he is? And we're going to replace him with an ATF director who respects the sacred right to keep and bear arms. You don't know who Dettelbach is. He's a guy that is not good for this room. He's not good for you. We will fire ultra-left Interior Secretary Deb Haaland and appoint a secretary who truly loves our hunters, fishermen, sportsmen, and outdoorsmen, like my sons. Not NRA members who are shooting up their communities. So instead of trying to eviscerate the rights of law-abiding gun owners, I will have federal law enforcement prosecute the countless gun crimes committed by gang members, drug dealers, and convicted felons. And to further deter these barbaric criminals and help you defend yourself and your family, I will ask Congress to send a bill to my desk delivering national right to carry reciprocity. You're going to have that. And if you have a meaningful Second Amendment, which you have, it's under siege. They got nowhere with me, but they got a lot of things happening with Biden. It has to go across state lines. You have to be able to go across state lines with Second Amendment privileges. Just as I did before, I will appoint rock-solid conservative originalists to the federal bench, including the United States Supreme Court. Great new justices. Almost 300 judges throughout the country. Big difference. I will stop the effort to deny banking and financial services to gun makers and dealers. They won't allow banks to deal with them.